Recording is in progress. I'm going to bring the meeting to order. Sorry for the delay. But we have to make sure we get everything done appropriate. So recording has started. We will officially call the meeting together. It is 7:07 for Verizon time. And I think we'll go around and introduce ourselves. So we're gonna go, I'm Patty Parker, I'm the board chair.
I'm Dee. Martin Baker, Quail Farm.
Megan Emelander Family Farm and Farm to Fork.
Darren Emelander Family Farm, Farm to Fork.
There's Hazel Family Farm.
Todd Hazel from Hazel Family Farm.
Jules Guido, board member. Amy Zerby, secretary.
Josh DeWitt, board member.
Jinx, board member, volunteer. James Godworth, city council.
Deb Greger, Redwell Farms, board member. Sherry Reiser, board member.
Shannon Akins, Dancing Dogs Bakery and board member.
And I'm Colleen Haggerty, board manager.
Okay. We're getting to taking gates off here. Okay, we have the agenda. Thank you for sending that out timely because I'm terrible at that. So thank you. And we do have some over here if you need them. I'm looking for approval or additions or changes to the agenda, to the minutes.
Agenda.
Oh, I should start with the agenda. Okay, you do have the agenda. Yeah. I purposely sent that out a week in advance like I'm supposed to. Thank you. I don't usually do that. I tried. Okay, so agenda. Now I'm looking for additions, changes, or approval.
Motion to approve.
I'll second. Wait.
Shannon. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Okay, now the minutes. Any changes or I'm looking for a motion to accept.
Except.
Yeah, second, D. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign? Okay, and now we're open for public comment. Do we have any?
Yes. Yes, we do.
Okay.
Got an email stating that Marshall Farmers Market wanted to reimburse us for our vendor fee.
If you,
And
if you don't remember, this is because they get charged as a food truck, a fee, you guys do remember, from the city.
We're
So
getting-
we figured they should only get one fee.
we're getting double dipped by the city, which whatever, it's not about the money. The $575 that you're gonna reimburse us, we're gonna turn right back around and donate back to the market. It's not about the money. It has never been about the money and won't be about the money. What it is a location. We're getting a lot of complaints from customers. We can't serve the customers the way we want to, in which in return hurts every one of the vendors at the market. If we can't watch where our customer goes while they're waiting for their sandwich and wave them down or deliver, they're sitting by our trailer waiting for their breakfast. And if they're waiting by, what's that?
Where you guys parked at right now?
We were in the Southern Plaza, Southern Row, whatever. Last year, we were on the end where we could watch basically both rows. So if somebody orders from us and we say, it's gonna be 5 minutes, go shop. It's gonna be 10 minutes, go shop. They're going out and shopping, but watching for their breakfast. In the back row, we can't see. They can't see. So they stand around and wait. And in return, if they got a short period of time, they ain't shopping. They're getting their breakfast from us and leaving. We don't want that. We've had complaints. I don't know if the gentleman that come and talked to us actually went to the city with the complaints. We want our old spot back so we can continue to serve the market and in return serve the vendors. That's all we want. And when it comes to a lot of the same, we're gonna have crossover. We're gonna have other people selling the same stuff we are. That's fine. But when it's one right after another, and then we're in the back row, and then we're hit for an extra vendor fee through the city, all of that together adds up to one upset person. That was me. Colleen took the blunt of that. She took it great. She handled it great. I appreciate that. There is no ill feelings. Let's fix it and move forward. And again, it's not about the money. We're donating that back. Put us back where we can serve the market the best we can. That's what we want. And as long as the board's okay with that, which the email stated you were, we're good. And as far as public comment, I think that's about all we had. Just be mindful of the multiple products of the same variety, I guess.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have anything? No? Okay.
I just add on about really looking at the number of vendors that serve the same products.
Yeah.
You
that's
need to
always gonna
keep
be a
Very
challenge.
close eye on that.
Always going to be. a
I guess to go back, because I think this is the only time we're gonna get to talk as just public. Eliminate the south row. Completely eliminate it. Move everybody up front. You've got the space. You don't need 5 foot in between everybody. Put everybody up front and move your music. If you can put your music out towards the street, draw people in the neighborhood that can hear the music. People at your market's already there.
When we put it up, anytime we've moved it to the front, we then get complaints of noise,
From who?
the vendors.
What about the vendors in the back row that have the music in their ear? I mean,
We do, it's.
are your front row vendors okay, so your front row vendors mean more to you than the back row vendors?
No, we didn't get complaints from the back row vendors. We don't get complaints from the front row vendors.
I would say that.
So I should complain more in the back row.
It's just more of them.
Yeah, there's more.
Yeah, there's more of them, many voices, I guess.
I will say I've always enjoyed walking through the farmer's market and hearing whether it was Jim Dyer and Jim Oliver or whoever it was playing. There was a certain feel to the market during that time. You know, you could grab food, you could sit on a bench, you could listen to music, you could walk through. I have not walked through yet this summer. But where is it now? It's on the back parking lot,
In the back.
where it used to be up front, right?
For a while, we had it right there in the middle.
Right, where it was for years, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
That's what it
yes.
was.
Okay.
But yeah, we had a lot of complaints from people who they had a hard time hearing their customers.
Just because you haven't heard a complaint from the people in the back row doesn't mean it isn't the same problem.
True, but I've actually literally gone and talked to them.
Okay.
And they said no. Matter of fact, several of them said, no, we kind of like it.
Having the music is great. I'm not saying get rid of it at all. But what if you could move that? Probably not possible. Don't know if it's the greatest idea. Put it behind the cheese people. On the grass area by the sidewalk. You want the music, in my opinion, you want the music to draw attention to anybody walking down the street. The hearing it in the market is, in my opinion, it's a byproduct. Use the music as an advertisement. Let the city hear it. Put it out further. Draw more people.
I think originally it was there for the market. It was there to bring in the atmosphere of an open market that people were walking around. When we were set up there in the past, the back parking lot was just as full as the front one.
True.
And so, you know, we were doing coffee. You had 3 different coffee vendors there. Nobody cared. But there was it was more to create an ambiance for people to walk around the market and to hang out. It was really to draw people to kind of hang out and shop and be kind of a social gathering versus just showing up shopping and leaving. So that was the original intent. At least that's how when Kathy Miller first did, that was kind of the original intent.
Yeah.
Was
Well,
kind of make it a hangout spot.
Yeah, and I will say, you know, I've done the market for a long time and our market is a social market. I mean, there's no doubt about that. People love to come, they love to get something to eat, they love to sit down at the tables. You might see them be there for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
And I do think the music does enhance that. And I think a lot of it has to do with the musicians, because sometimes
Yes.
they want to play super loud and you kind of have to ask them to tone it down. Sometimes they play super soft. But I know for me, being in the front row, like now we don't even hear it most of the time because it is really far back there. And we've had the ones that have been like less loud. So, I mean, sometimes I think, oh my gosh, like, are they even playing? Because like, we can't hear it up there. So I really think a lot of it just depends on, I mean, they have to be responsible for like, how loud they're being.
Could you set it up closer to the church where it faces
Like
east.
directionally.
What
Yeah,
faces
goes with the east wind.
And plays kind of that way, is that even possible? I don't know.
When we had to be temporarily over behind the county, they would set it up on the end and they did it primarily because then it would also block anyone from driving through. They had to be done and out of there, so you couldn't drive through until the music was in or
Is
out.
there electricity over there though?
We had to run it over there. Here, there's electricity down the center.
Okay.
So it would be less of a hazard, because right now we have to run the cord all the way across. What do you think? Do you think the end there by the church would work?
Last year I put the musicians in various locations to see how it went, and I got different kinds of feedback depending on the musician.
Sure.
And it comes down to really what is the purpose of the music at the market.
Get people to stay, I think. It's the ambiance and get people to.
I did have them down there for a while. That was kind of my favorite spot, but it was bothering, I'm not his name, Larry's grandson.
Oh, yeah,
So I put him back in there.
I do
In the
remember
back.
that. I do.
In the back, if it's a little too soft, we could always ask them to turn up the, we've had to ask them to turn down the volume, but if it's too soft, we can always have them turn it up.
I could always try putting them by the garage is kind of the church's garage.
Oh, that corner.
Like it's sort of over the grass and like it'd be a little cornery area.
Well, there also won't be the same issue. You.
No, there won't.
Yeah.
There won't be. There
With
won't be.
that, yeah.
It's also again, like, I could play with that again.
I think that's far enough away from vendors that it won't be, you're not on top of them, it's be super loud but then like you said, I'll carry it through the market basically.
Yeah, because it does seem to seep, from the back, it kind of seeps all the way up. And it is nice having that opening, like they used to be right in the middle of the middle, but that's nice having that opening. I think that does kind of draw people back. Having that wide opening, it just lets people know there's something back there.
Yeah, I noticed, I watched that because she had, Colleen had told me that she was making sure there's a walkway in there. And you watch, and people were doing like a figure eight,
Yeah.
which is really nice. That means they're hitting.
You have to make it really big and it's straight, it's a straight shot when you come in and you know it's, it's
be
not
line
just
right back there.
somebody's not
Yeah.
missing, it's
Yeah.
it's definitely obvious.
Okay.
But I'm glad you guys have a food truck, to be honest with you. I'm glad you guys have a food truck there.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I have been to food trucks where they've given you the beepers for your pocket. I don't know what those cost.
Then I want my vendor feedback.
Walk around.
Yeah, I want them to walk around.
Yeah.
I want everybody to have a share of
That I don't buy from you guys is because I don't want to waste my time waiting.
and I don't want you
I
to.
don't
either.
believe you, I don't understand tracking me down to get my sandwich. That's not part of the,
We do it a lot.
yeah.
And I think
And
that's.
how much we wave them down to
Yeah,
come
yeah,
over,
yeah.
you'd be
It's a
amazed.
nice
how much-
service for the vendors, especially when it's busy. It's nice that you guys do that.
Yeah.
That's what
I want you guys to stay busy. If you guys are busy, you're brought,
The market.
it's a win-win.
You
Yeah,
want to
sure.
take the feedback and get the buzzers.
No, I want to give the feedback to you
Yeah,
guys.
it's, we want, the
But you
goal is for the
attend.
market to thrive. I mean, that's ultimately, the goal is how can the Marshall market thrive? And I think if our presence can help the Marshall market thrive, then awesome. It's just, you gotta remember, like, our positioning this year is like almost backwards to the market. I mean, and I literally had somebody ask me, why are you backwards? And I'm like, well, we're not backwards. I'm just facing okay, I am backwards. My wheel is backwards. Like I have no recourse to that. So, and he's like, you were so much more visible on the side. Why aren't you guys on the side? And I went, oh, because we're not this year, but we'll talk about it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
but I think if visibility is important. And I get it, food trucks it's a PR thing and it is a visibility thing. And if we were back on the end, maybe we are a little more visible. than, facing backward, especially when our window is literally backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
that's-
is a little bit awkward, so,
Are you guys one of the last to leave?
Oh, yeah.
a lot of times, yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Okay. Well, I was thinking too, cause like my thought is the opposite of like where he was saying the music goes and flip them. Just because your food truck is so, I'll be honest, I've driven by and I'm like, you guys aren't here. And I kept going cause I didn't wanna stop. And so.
I can't tell you how many times we've heard that.
Yeah. But and food trucks draw people in. Ooh, what's
Yeah.
this? It's big. It's like, the tents are one thing, but you're like, ooh, there's food here. I can eat. So you get more visible at the other end.
There used to be a vegan food truck about, I don't know, a few years ago, and they parked right there by the church.
Yep.
Right there on the end. And then one year there was like a barbecue place, they parked on the other end. The end caps did seem to work pretty well, cause you were walking around.
They're very
a lot.
busy.
What if-
Yeah.
My only thing is logistically with everybody leaving, is that
Right.
creating an issue?
Well,
with-
the,
That's-
Happen at that end, it would create an issue.
The other end, yes.
longer available
Remember last year,
because
no,
it
but
is,
you're set
it's
back
no
enough.
longer a driveway.
Yeah, we don't create,
No,
yeah.
when they redid Green Street, they blocked off, we only have one driveway access now.
Oh, I didn't
We
realize
can't do
that.
that,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. And it would be, because they're not one of the first to leave, that would kind of put a halt to a lot of things. And it would cause chaos in the other areas. So, yeah, I don't think the west end would work, but,
The east end worked fine all last year.
Yeah.
And so I think that's just our proposal is to put us back on.
The only thing would just be moving that community kiosk then, cause like last week in the van was there. So then are you moving that?
Oh, no, they wouldn't be right up against it. They're like in the adjacent parking lot.
I guess they would.
Yeah, and we're gonna order covers for our extension cord, so we don't have to borrow, we don't have to worry. We'll have our extension cord covered. No trip, no car problems.
Yeah, last year I think it was the heavy traffic was.
Yeah, we're gonna make sure that's not an issue. If we're going back on the end, we'll spend the money to make sure that's not an issue.
Well, and to address it, I didn't address in the email, like, it was never meant to be permanent. In that, like, we have some vendors who aren't there all the time and aren't crossover products. So when they come and visit and have valid things to sell, and there's two of them in the back row, and people aren't used to going there, they get screwed. So I wanted to establish that area, and I know because you're a draw, and because you're a name that people recognize, you smell really good. I thought that people would find you and then come explore the other
And I love
things.
the idea of it's like eat now in that back row is kind of what I was looking at. It's like Felicia's there with her bagel bar.
Right.
You got the cheesecake, like that's stuff I can eat now. And I was like, so kind of putting all that together made sense, but
Right.
it is a little clunky with
Well,
how
and,
that setup goes.
and not knowing the dimensions of the trailer, like I
Big.
couldn't
Big, big.
mentally, like if I could pick you up and put you where I want to, it would have been a lot better, but that doesn't work
Yeah.
logistically. And
No,
I do-
I applaud you for trying,
and
because I really do
I
like.
knew I needed this space. Now that we're getting more height of the season,
Right.
I need that space back anyway. It all came to a head all at once.
Okay, any other public comment?
We add about, because of Barb and Darren are talking about it, how is it that we make the decision to allow a new vendor with the same product categories? And I'm not sure, Julie, I'm not sure if we have that on the rural committees about. We need to make a decision about that. How many districts do we need to have? Because Barb is mentioning, for me, I have my product line with all the seasons there from the time when Jan Rice was forcing me to come. And that's my product line. The season changed. And the same thing with Barb and Todd. And how are we going to decide how many certain product categories in the market without having to flood the market and saturate everything that no one, I have the advantage because I can change my product line anytime. but how about the other people? You know, that, we need to, we talk about this for a couple of years, then
Yeah. I think it's always gonna be a challenge though, and part of the challenge too is getting any vendor that comes to give us their full line, cause like, no, I know we've gotten people in and they said they were bringing XYZ, and of course, then they come in and they bring ABC too. And, I know you've gone and talked to some people who have, we have to constantly be watching that and say, no,
Yeah.
you didn't let you in for that product. But yeah, I think you're always gonna have to, I think at one point, I know Cody had said 3, no more than 3 of any one kind, and depending on what it is, less. But I think it's always gonna it also is gonna depend on how many people at a market. We had a lot more people at the market this past week. So certainly it could handle a lot more than, you know, the shoulder months. The shoulder months aren't gonna be able to handle nearly as much. But if you have something that you only have one vendor at in May, by July, if it's a popular product, that's not gonna be enough.
I think you could look at 10%. If you have your regular vendors, if it's like 20 regular vendors, that's 2 from each category in a sense. If you have 30 regular vendors, you're getting 10 more people, that's 3, and then you're getting a little bit better overlap. And then you can kind of, like I said, go a little bit, because if there's 30 vendors, like I was looking, there's 29 regular vendors and what was it? 25, maybe that's what I saw.
The problem lies though with that, when you start getting too much overlap, is the flowers, the baked goods. If you got 3 and you get a slower day at the market, even not a slow day, let's say it's a banner day. And not one of those 3 sell out and they're both going, all 3 of them going home and throwing stuff away. How long till you chase 1 away? How long till you chase 2 away? Pretty soon you don't have any. So I feel it's better to trim that back and let somebody sell out. And then you know they're coming back and they're probably gonna up their numbers. But if you let 3 in and nobody's selling out, you're gonna chase them away. You're gonna chase them away.
I also think it depends on the product line, because I mean, your produce, yeah, we're gonna need more of those.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can just say, 10%. I think it always is gonna have to be one of those variable things we have to feel out the market for.
What do you guys sell?
Well, we have
Produce,
Produce, cut flowers.
flowers, bedding plant, hanging baskets,
Microgreens.
planters, microgreens. A little bit of,
Do you sell out of your microgreens every week, do you think?
just about.
we're getting
Just
there,
about.
yeah.
I've had a lot of people ask. Like,
You
go.
usually take home about 1 full tray, but it's not
Out of 12.
out of.
I was gonna say, how many?
What she means is she takes home 12 other.
And that's enough, that's probably enough for us for the week, which is okay. But, and the other thing I was thinking back to several years ago and foot traffic. I know we don't want to get away from, we don't want to become too much of an artisan market. But it feels like we're kind of like, I remember when we had maybe a couple vendors that sold candles and soaps
That they made themselves.
that they made themselves, of course. And it just seems like, and some other things that were not produce or, grown things. And I think if we were to kind of look at some of those different categories or some other things in some of those areas, not just on artisan.
If you have vendors, we haven't had vendors come in with soap and.
I know, I
Stuff,
don't, we
yeah.
used to have like
I do.
so
Depends on
many.
the floor and the-
Right, yeah, it does seem like it.
I know.
Everybody had soaps for a while.
Yeah.
Now we don't have it.
Any,
Any.
yeah.
I remember when Queso Cabeza was there, they did a bang up job with their soaps. Yeah,
Yeah, it was every kind of candle person that you can imagine, but it just seems like that variety kind of draws more people in
It does.
because of the variety, and then they in turn will be going by something else.
Send one over, that would be lovely.
So that was just, another thought I had. we love.
We're gonna hijack this whole meeting if we keep going. but
That was, if
Another thing with
I ever
the,
hear of any, if I ever see a candle thing at a craft show, I'm grabbing their card and I'll bring it.
There you go.
I'll mention it and I'll bring it.
when it comes to enticing new vendors, maybe the first time out, waive their vendor fee. Second time out, maybe, I don't know what the number is, 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
waive the vendor fee just to get them in the door.
we've done
We've
that.
done that.
We've done that before, yeah. But we haven't even had, yeah, I don't, have you had any candle or soap people?
So Jenny B is going through a life transition right now with selling her house and possibly leaving the area entirely, but she has all of those things. She has soap, she has body spray, she has linen spray, she has candles, she has all of it. I know D sells soap and linen sprays. So that covers a little bit of that. I haven't seen any candles at your booth though. And then Little Farmhouse on the Prairie is sort of stepping into the Jenny B gap. So she's a tallow-based one. She's been adding not just the tallow-based skin stuff, but what did she have? She has soap too. So I'm kind of letting her be, like, expand her line in the wake of Jenny's absence. So I haven't been looking for it, because I remember when I was out coming to the market as a shopper and there were like 2 or 3 candle vendors. They
Yeah,
were
right.
very similar to each other. Like, wait, which one
Yeah.
are you? So I'm,
At one point, I think there were 2 or 3 just in that first row,
Yeah,
like where I am, there were like 2 or 3 just candle vendors.
Yeah.
That's really all they did.
they were,
I want to point out that when we did the market, the applications this year, they were supposed to have written out what they were serving, and then that was supposed to have been distributed so everybody would kind of know. Do the vendors all have that list?
I did not receive enough and I haven't tracked people down.
Because we tried to address this. I won't bring this because I know 2 other people are doing it. Or I don't see any of this, maybe I can bring it. So we
That
did
would be-
attempt to do that. I just want to put that out there. But with that, finally, the decision is up to the market manager.
and
So I think
vendors
we
are
can move on.
notorious for not writing in everything they're doing. Sorry, but it's true. They don't. So yeah, it's,
But I think that would be really helpful because given, like we could have coffee in the morning, but I don't, and I send them to D.
yeah.
So that is actually like as a vendor,
Sure.
that's really, really helpful to go, hey, I know what so-and-so, and I will send somebody to you if they ask me. And I think that that's like that knowledge is really important.
Yeah. It is. We keep telling vendors that.
Yeah. Well,
It is
I
really
get,
helpful.
it's,
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Miracle on 34th Street story where, if you don't have it, somebody who does, send
And
them
you'll
to
send
that
them.
vendor, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all want the market to be a success. We all want all the vendors to do well. And so I think it is really good. Like if you know what's out there and, oh, I saw that over there, you might want to go over there and check it out. So
And it is one of the things that I noticed a lot of the volunteers try to do. They try to go around and see.
Right.
Because I'm really bad at that. And I know because I get put in my place by some of the other volunteers who are like, no, there's some right over here. And nope, you've got 2 different places that have that. I mean, they give all the right answers and
that's great.
I'm the one who didn't bother to pay attention. It's great. I was duly chastised. Okay, we do need to get going. So, do we have anything new for the youth vendor program? Report?
I have youth vendors rolling in. We had one last week. He had handmade fishing lures.
Oh,
I didn't get a chance to check in with him at the end of the day, and he did not submit a sales report. So I don't know.
$6 because I bought some.
Oh,
And I gave you a lemonade.
oh, wonderful.
And then this week we're having Caleb is returning with his tie-dye shirts,
Oh,
and
nice.
he came to our financial
Workshop?
meeting.
Oh, that's
here.
awesome.
And he had his little friend with him, Raven, who she hasn't submitted her application yet, but they're hoping to do like an interactive thing.
Oh,
So that's one of the reasons I needed the room in South Plaza for some interactive tie-dye going on in the future,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Which was very
Yes.
popular when they were there last year.
Where was it?
Yeah, that was very
Very cool. So there's that. They're trickling in. The Volta Tourneys have signed up again. Going back to the duplicate product, though, I'm concerned about Eden's baked goods. I mean, and that raises a question that I have. Do I turn youth vendors away? Do I treat them like a vendor application? Or do I just make room for them?
Are they completely vegan?
She didn't say. It's not.
Cause
listed in
I think that's kind of what set her apart a little bit from some of the other things, is that she was one of the only ones with baked goods that were completely vegan. So that might be a question you might want to ask her.
It is a question, and they're not, she's coming like 3 times, or she
Yeah.
has to come 3 times, so it's not like.
I mean, her stuff is really good. I mean, if you've had it, it is really good. But I mean, it is, again, it might offer that alternative that maybe we're not offering enough of.
But also in general, like, if there is a product that doesn't, I mean, like, where's our bar with
Right.
with youth vendors is a question that I would like to have discussed at some point.
Yeah, and I don't have an answer for you. Any suggestions?
So that's the youth vendor report.
Yeah.
We have some, they're coming, they seem savvy.
How many people, can I ask how many people did come to that workshop?
There were 3 legitimate kids. And then the first one, we had a kid parent. It was Pete.
Oh.
Peter G. His daughter is thinking about it. She couldn't come that night, so he came on her behalf.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I think it'll be slow growing, but I do think if we can keep that going, it is a nice thing. That was one
It's a
of
nice service.
Kathy's big thing.
If we can get the kids excited about it that are doing it currently, they're gonna bring in their friends, I think.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, Luke's Rocks was great. We'd love to have him there. Okay, financial report. We did get it late. I do have copies if you need them. We are still looking to get more funds in. We still have not heard back from Ford. Is it coming? I don't know. I have submitted to a couple other places, so hopefully we'll hear back. But if anybody has ideas, please let us know.
A couple smaller donations that look like.
We've got a few more. They were put on the calendar, so if you've seen the calendar, we've added in a few more down here. But we are in, I will get to the senior village. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But we still need some of the other big ones, and the youth vendor program will have to end midsummer if we don't get the other.
the youth activity, the kids activity.
Yeah, not youth vendor, sorry, the kids activity program. We'll have to end midsummer, right at the height of the market if we can't find another.
What's the price of that?
6,000 for half a season. And Oakland upped theirs from 3 to 6, so they continue to do half a season. And Ford asked us to send an invoice, and we did. And I've heard nothing since. They did not say they were gonna sponsor. She said, I'm gonna try that. Can you send an invoice? We did. And I can't even get a response, yes or no.
Patty.
Patty.
That.
Do they have our
Our mother wondered.
199 so that they can set us up for a vendor?
No.
A lot of times, yes.
Yeah, they have everything. City Center. The city sent everything.
Because a lot of
They work
times,
for it quite a bit.
the nonprofits send things and then we can't process the payment.
They've got
because we don't
everything
get
and
it.
they've got all the information right down to the invoice number that they needed on it from the city. City took care of everything for us. They carbon copied on it. It was all sent. And I can't even get a response from her.
So instead of going for the big fish, can we?
Oh, it can be broke up anyways, yeah.
So if everybody took, like 3 or 4 flyers and you go to your doctor and say, hey, by the way,
Yeah,
can you, it might add
Yeah.
up. So just people that we do business with
yeah.
every day.
And with those kids bucks, I mean, we put their logo on the kids buck.
Right.
We would put it on a yard sign, which they're coming in now and they're just gonna have Oaklawn off to one side and a big bear area in hopes of being able to put more names on there. We'd promote them in social media and in different places. Yeah, to be honest with you, on the Kids Buck is where I hear most from both parents and kids. They'll say, oh, that's really nice.
So maybe the orthodontist.
You'd think it'd be a no-brainer. We thought we'd get Bronson. There's no reason Bronson Hospital doesn't do it. They have, Bronson is over here as well. Couldn't even get a response from them. So yeah, if anybody has an in anywhere.
Then I wanna
I
know.
haven't heard back from Eaton yet.
I will say, I think it'd be important to some of these bigger companies that you're reaching out to, figure out when the fiscal year starts. Because a lot of them are ready when they're creating their budget before the fiscal year starts.
Yeah.
They've already set aside what they're going to get.
I talked to quite a
outside
few
of
last
that-
fall.
And outside of that, they're not gonna get it.
I talked to quite a few last fall and many of them said right after the new year. And we sent it, I think it was February that we sent it. And, yeah, and said no. And we hit like Oaklawn has a set time. It has to all be in. We sent it. They were great. They got right back to us. I heard back from several, but it was a no. And we gave them the option. You don't have to just do the kids program. You can do other ones. But yeah, if they do summer programming, they actually get on a buck, and that is where I don't know about you guys, but that's where I hear the parents and the kids talking about it more, especially parents, let's face it, are who we really want to hear from. And they come up and say, oh, that's really awesome that they're sponsoring.
The other thing we can do, if not this year, next year, is change it from $5 to $3.
True.
The one in Vermont is $2 and they teaches them to save. Because, you know, I did my tour 2 weekends,
Yeah.
one in New York, one in Maine, I guess it was Maine.
I think that's probably what we'll have to do, which
Is okay.
it is, just not as fun.
Buy a bag of carrots, but not a bag of lettuce.
There you go.
Looks like they're gonna change the price of lemonade.
But we do have these financials, so please, any type of sponsorship we can get. I don't care if it's 100, 150 or anything else. It's always appreciated. At least, yeah. Yeah, and like more even. And like I said, there's still a couple of people I might hear back. I never did hear back from Common Citizen. I didn't hear back from. Another one I thought Consumers Energy might consider. Didn't hear back from them. I hear that one they said, thank you, we'll submit and see. Nothing. Yeah. Nothing. Market managers report.
Well, I emailed out the report of the rainbows.
So do you think it was really just the garden club that got so many more people there? It was a
Yeah,
beautiful.
oh, it was mommed. So I guess I'll start with this last weekend. The tree plant exchange was a hot mess. And this was only their third year doing it, and it had never been like this before. So last year and the year before, they literally couldn't give the plants away by the end of the day. And this year, there was a mob of people at 7:30 looking for where to queue up for these free plants. And they started handing them out at like 7:45, and they were gone by 8:05.
It was nuts.
It was
crazy. nuts.
Yeah. So there was a brief panic of people possibly taking Brenda's plants. But either
Sorry.
either that was a mistake or they came back and paid. Because Brenda emailed me later and she's like, I'm happy with my sales. It all evened out in the end. And I did knock $5 off her rent just as a learning experience. She was like, thanks, every bit helps. So it all, she's happy. Yeah. And the garden club, Carla checked in. She's like, well, we learned a lot. So, yeah, so
But
learning
you know,
experience.
what a fun problem to have.
You know,
There were people asking like 2 weeks before it actually happened.
Oh, yeah.
They were coming and saying, where's the free plants? It's like, well, it's not even till June 7th.
Yeah.
I mean, it was, and I know Amy Front said she had 5 plants that she didn't even get them in the parking lot.
Yeah.
People nabbed them before she ever even got them in the
brought
parking
the
lot.
raspberries on the wagon.
I don't know. She just
Yeah.
said,
Somebody came in, she came in like with a wagon full of stuff. She got as far as our barn.
and they were gone.
She said, gone. So,
I must admit, I just had to stop by. We had to be at the museum, but I stopped by to drop off stuff that I printed and it was madhouse.
Yeah.
It was insane.
it was.
There was some lady that wanted to buy cheese. We went up to the cheese people and it was 7:15. And they just had got their tables up and and she's like, I'm sorry, but we don't have anything out yet. I'm sorry, I can't sell you
Since
anything
we
yet.
open at 8, I'm not ready.
She was like,
usually we're standing around, right? Waiting for people to come.
that's when we knew it was gonna be really,
It'll
really.
be a day when
I was
it's
like, wow.
start after 7.
But if you look at the trend for the customer count and the sales count, that double of the traffic really is not necessarily,
They were planning.
yeah,
Yeah, they were.
so.
Yeah, it's so weird. The foot traffic to the spending this year is like, it's not matched at all, except on Kids Day. Kids Day was brilliant. People were happy. We had a lot of people. Oh, no. That's the wrong number. Few people on Kids Day, but they spent nearly $20.
I have a question on the counters. Are they excluding children?
Yes. Yeah, this is only people who look like they're going
Yeah, I
to.
just don't know what their rules are, what their training is. If you get somebody
No kids.
enthusiastic.
Yep. No, Julie goes through it with them and, yep.
I mean, it's true though. I mean, honestly, as a vendor, I mean, you know that there are weeks where they're all browsers. I mean, you can get 1 billion people, you just are not spenders. And then you might get a week where every person that walks by comes and buys something. It's just really weird, the fluctuation in,
Yeah, it looks like I don't know, this was kind of the same last year too, like the busier days were always when I put those sales reports in, like. They're just looking, they're all just there to look.
Yeah.
And to hang out, so I don't know.
One more thing on the plant is, Amy had, if we do that again, maybe we need to do like they do at Dark Horse when they do their mugs and you get a ticket, you get a raffle ticket and we'll call your number. And we can
Take
have a
one.
loudspeaker and that way they can be milling around and they won't come early to get in line.
Yeah, or like museums with exhibits, you have your time where you can go.
Yeah, I think, you'll have to work with the garden club and see
Yeah.
how they want it.
Yeah,
You
but
can't-
just
we
the-
can't just
just-
preemptively.
Yeah,
But maybe
Think
we can
about
work
how to
with
do
them
the
and
crowd
see if there's a
control
on
on
that.
oh yeah, Carla was talking about how much they were gonna have to talk about this on their end, so.
And maybe it's a situation where they just only have certain things available at certain hours.
Yeah, so.
That would probably be the easiest.
But again, like this,
They don't know what they're gonna get.
Yeah, this
That's
is
the
not
problem. It's
outside
all
the head. I
volunteer.
had no idea though. There was no precedent for this. There wasn't.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they advertise more.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what I was wondering.
It's been happening for years and years. and it's
Yeah, I
been
know.
crazy.
Crazy.
Maybe it's your stellar communication on what's happening at the market on Saturday.
No, I think it was them, because I saw posters. When I would take flyers out to the market, I would see their stuff. I think that's what it was. I think they stepped up.
They pushed it.
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah.
did. Yeah. We did. Yeah.
So,
So,
Kids Day, I'm really excited. Kids Day was a success. I'm excited that there's a fire truck there.
kids love that.
And adults it's sad too. when I
Yes,
see it.
they do. They do. Yeah.
We got random.
I have a request though,
And it got called.
you know, the trick show,
Magic.
magic. We need to move it to the right because she's the one that having fun all day long and I just can't see it.
I'll have Henry tell you all about it.
Henry loves to haggle now too, which is my favorite part.
And by the end of the year, Henry can start doing magic tricks, I think.
There you go.
You too, yeah.
Do they still do magic camp? Send them to magic
They
camp.
do that, yeah.
Yeah.
They need them.
Um,
So I have other things.
Okay.
To go through.
Yep.
So for anybody who doesn't know, Larry Sibley did die in
That
May.
was lovely.
And so Kim's the one that set that up, she did the obit and the blurb and everything, so we're gonna set up one of our canopies in that corner. She asked for the corner by the garage, by the church garage, and they'll have a little memorial there, so that's happening
Is that?
this week,
Good.
the 14th. Let's see, Chris Shooty Miller came by last month. And she has a small amount of money from her dad's passing that she wants to put to use somehow with the market volunteers. So I said I would bring it to the board for brainstorming and discussion. It's not a whole lot. It's 500, which is not nothing. But specifically she wanted that to go to something, thanking the volunteers or supporting the volunteers of the market or something, because that was really.
I will tell you, in the last the couple of weeks that I worked here, I had several volunteers thank us for those chairs they have. Whether it's raining or sun, they really like the ones that.
The hooded ones.
So that apparently was a good purchase.
A good choice.
That was Colleen's idea. That was a good purchase.
I was trying to figure out umbrellas, like how we could get an umbrella attached. You found the
It
fancy
was
pair.
what you told me to do. And they, people really, I mean, they made a point to say how much they like
They are
them.
comfortable.
Are they comfy?
They are.
Nice. But yeah, maybe think around things like that. So as you're talking to volunteers at the market, see what they say. Yeah, yeah. That is lovely.
Let's see, the Marshall Community Foundation grant, which paid for the 4 canopies, the t-shirts, the aprons, some banners and such. They've been on us to close that out for a couple of years now,
It's been a terrible challenge because
tracking down receipts that
it
don't
was,
exist.
yeah, it was a combination of people who purchased, and to be honest, Marguerite did quite a bit. And we didn't have all the receipts. We couldn't report back.
I had 2 receipts.
Yeah.
2 receipts out of that entire file. And then the ones you emailed me.
Yeah,
So anyway,
crazy.
in talking to Jen London, she's like, just do what you can. I want to get this closed out. So I closed that out last night. I haven't received a thank you, you've closed out, but I did my part and I hit send. So that is a weight off my back. The pancake sign that was taken from Heritage Cleaners parking lot last year has been found
Okay.
by Justin Miller. It was in the city hall garage this whole time.
Oh my gosh.
So I grabbed that and have returned it. So
We
that's
just haven't done signs.
that's
They
another.
mysteriously
part of it.
disappear all the time.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll find them in random places,
Yeah.
like maybe 3 weeks later.
It
It doesn't make any sense.
is weird. Very, very weird.
Let's see, I have signed us, the market is participating in the library's annual scavenger hunt. So I'll have this, I have to put somewhere on the market property.
Oh.
And I'll have these little cards that volunteers at the market booth will have to give out. So we're part of that for a month. It starts this week and goes through the mid-June or
If you don't
mid-July.
know, their programming is very popular, so.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Very.
Putting it on the scavenger hunt is good.
So we're part of that this year. I'm excited. Going back to when they did repave Green Street and did that whole sidewalk area, closed off the west end of the lot, they added a sidewalk going from north-south into our parking lot. It goes down it meets the accessible parking space in the parking lot, but it's a curb. It's not a curb cut. And the last 3 weeks at least, there have been people not noticing it and stumbling up or stumbling down. So we've been putting a cone there. I've been using the sidewalk shop to mark it. Ikers and Chisholm have been like making their tents in such a way that people kind of have to slow down and squeeze through. And that has helped.
So if we could get the city to,
I-
Let me bring that up.
Yeah, I
So
submitted that,
it's supposed to be so it's a walkway and they didn't actually put a ramp in?
correct. I don't know if it was ever supposed to be, because it didn't exist before, it's brand new, so there's that, and I attached that to the same note. I emailed, Miller and Strange, and they were gonna forward it, they looped in Marguerite and someone else.
Okay.
So it's floating around the city email ether somewhere, but I also looped in when they cut down the tree on that end. People stumble over the tree hole.
the
So,
hole, it is a hole.
all right, so is the stump still there or is it a hole now?
It's both.
Both, there's, yeah.
So
Which
we're
is
going to
dangerous now.
remove, don't quote me. I think there's 250 stumps in town, half are being removed this year, half are being removed next year. That number could be a little off, but that's basically, so I don't know if that's on this year's removal or next year's removal.
We get
So you have a
dirt
sandwich
and-
board now, you can put over the.
Right.
It's weird because also though, like there's a sidewalky part that people walk on that the roots of the tree that's no longer there have messed it up. So there's a sidewalk problem, there's a
People trip
hole in the
there.
ground problem, and there's a curb problem.
Yeah, I didn't realize how bad the stump thing was until I actually watched a lady trip and
Okay.
almost like, I thought she was gonna impale herself on that, this stump, it's not pretty.
With the curb, can we get that painted yellow? Just to kind of be a caution before somebody gets hurt?
I did also ask about repainting the lines and the numbers, because some of them don't exist and some of them are mismatched, especially now that that end is different. So the measurements are different, and I brought it up in the same email, like, so.
That'd be nice.
And then finally, sorry, I have none, these are in no particular order. The community kiosk, I would like to have a contract with each person coming in, with each entity coming in. I found one in the drive that I like the form of. It's a little aggressive, I feel like, in some parts. So I just wanted some feedback from the board. Like next month, I think I had Patty print some, and I can email that to whoever prefers a digital. version.
There are some over here, this is it, so I can pass that around if you guys didn't get one. There were some of them over here and I'll email them out.
I'm not looking for an answer on this tonight. This is more, this is a brainstorm and think about later thing. So that's all on my list. Yes, that's the Rambly market report.
Thank you. So we'll start with committee reports, programs and activities. That's your committee. Did you have anything to add? I think our calendars are working. That we have.
I think so. I keep forgetting to send it to all the vendors.
Oh, yeah, you should. We have this, we have it available at the booth. It's been posted on Facebook page. So the idea of sending out a calendar at the beginning of each month is, I think, kind of cool. It's a way to share our sponsors. And this is sponsors for any sponsors that we have of the market. We just varied the size of the thing. I think it's a nice idea. I think it's working. Our programs and activities, I think they're going well. This weekend is Flag Day, Father's Day.
I touched base with the American Legion today, and they have several people coming in. We're gonna have flag folding demos, and they have literature about flag care to hand out, so.
That's not perfect.
I have a few kids asking when's gonna be the next Googlia. Henry is one. Where's your Googlia?
Yeah, do we have our list? It's usually,
Next week?
it's
It's
the
this
second
weekend.
Saturday of every month.
This weekend?
Do you have a list for me?
I do, I don't know if Dee's on it though.
Did you want to do it?
What is that?
Are you gonna be one this week or no?
Oh, yeah.
He's got his
What are
hat.
you gonna put down, a loaf?
The loaf, yeah.
Not your hat.
I always have in the hat.
That's why I figured you'd just do the hat.
No, it's gotta be.
Rules and grievance.
So we have the grievance form, same as last month, but I added on the back of it the excerpt from our handbook. Complainant, I don't know how to spell it. It's not popping up. This is what pops up. So this is the official spell check way of saying complainant, which I think it needs another T in it, but. The purpose of this is so that if somebody does have a form, they know what the next step is. The idea is that everybody should have a cell phone that they can take a picture of. So if this is turned into you, you would fill in the date submitted and where the heck is it now? Received by. At the top is the date submitted and the received by. So that would be the market representative, whether it's Colleen.
Well, whoever's in the, yeah.
But it's only supposed to be you two.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
A market manager or chairperson.
Chairperson.
That's what it says in the book. So they can't turn it into a volunteer.
Yeah.
The volunteer would point
Makes
it
sense.
to one of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that way they have a copy of it, and then on the back, it will tell them that this is our procedure and you can look forward to hearing from someone soon. Done.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Yep, yep. Well
So
done.
we'll have these then printed without the word draft and have them at the table.
That would work. Yep.
And an email version to like a PDF or something so that. Are we doing a digital version too?
Sure. Where are you gonna put it though?
But if we just had it there.
I could have it, and they're like, I need to make
We
a
can
complaint or
yeah.
email, I don't know yet.
Email to 'em.
When we have a website, it will be on the website.
Thank you very much for that. Marketing and PR, Tony's not here. We're trying to get things out. Hopefully it's working. If anyone has suggestions, let us know. But then it leads us into the funding and sponsorship. Do you want to talk about senior?
So the senior bingo goes back a little bit. Last year when I was trained, more than half my training was, and Eric deals with this. So the senior bingo fell into that bucket and it'd take me some time to track down through the help of many people who to contact. So senior bingo, the committee that approves the funds that we've been using, the millage funds, it's a mini grant. They only meet quarterly. And I missed the April one because I didn't know who it was at the time.
And it didn't used to be quarterly.
So the next upcoming is July. And there has been some ambiguous language about whether we can use the funds that we originally got 2 years ago, because we still have from the original $5,000 chunk. If we can, since we already have that money, can we just keep using it since we're not asking for more? Originally, I understood the answer to be yes, but then going forward with encouraged to submit a formal mini grant, it feels more like that's a no, let's wait until it gets approved. So that's where we are. We're in like a limbo.
Helen's being very, very polite about this.
I've asked for clarification. I've called them. They're very kind, and when I can get them on the phone, they're very communicative, but just trying to get an answer of.
It was a pretty, I saw the email. It was a pretty clear, yeah, go ahead with that. Just submit kind of for paperwork purposes. And then they said, okay, we will see if we can get it approved. That wasn't at all what it looked like to begin with. So she's being very kind about it. It was actually,
You're submitting paperwork for a grant. Is that another grant then?
no, it's a continuation of the senior village grant. Yeah, which we have the funds from to use. And Eric is the one who had negotiated the deal with them to keep it and use over multiple years. And Eric is no longer here. So
Considering our financial state, Patty and I are hesitant to approve funds ahead of approval.
So we
Yeah.
probably won't move ahead with it until mid-July. And you will be gone on the date that they do that, correct?
Yes.
I put it on my calendar, so I will. I'll go to their meeting.
I could see them wanting to use free money versus money that's in the account.
Yeah. It's, I mean, it's it's money that we have, it's already there, and if we don't use it, we're gonna have to give it back to the county. It literally has to go back to them.
True too.
So maybe they just want it back, but it, yeah, and which would have been fine if that's what he had said, but that is not what it sounded like in that first.
So what would be the repercussions of using it and them coming back and saying, oh?
What, pay it back?
We'd have to pay out, the first year we asked for 5,000, we received 5,000. The first year, 1,200 was distributed. The following year, 1,680 was distributed, so.
And that we have an approval for.
Yeah.
But that excess, whatever we would pay out now, yeah, we'd have to pay.
That
it.
means we have about 2 grand-ish.
Yep.
And if we reimburse seniors for their bingo cards with that, and then they said, no, actually,
Yeah.
then we would have to pay that money back.
So, yeah, that's where we stand.
That's a good idea to err on the side of caution.
We are. We put up signs at the last market saying, very sorry, bear with us. Well,
Yep. They're eager, they're chomping at the bit.
they are. We let our partners know. So the senior centers, the libraries and senior health partners. And we did hear back from them saying, oh, we've got our fingers crossed, hopefully. So it's a great program. If you're not familiar with it, it gets seniors out learning about what is available in the community. It gets them out first, period. But then it also lets them, we know from feedback that they were learning about things that were available to them in the community that they didn't know about. And then they could bring it to the market and they get money for healthy foods. And while the kids love to spend in previous years on 3D printed things, the bulk of the seniors bought produce with
Well, a
that.
lot of them, like, there was one person who bought their turkey from Greener Grass.
Yeah,
Thanksgiving turkey, like they saved up and
yeah.
bought most of a turkey.
I mean, $50. That's nice. It's a great program.
Then it gets.
We do need a turkey.
It does. It does. A lot of, the first year I heard a lot about Tai Chi. The two big things, we're learning about Tai Chi classes and, because I just didn't know. And
Library.
the library tech,
Yeah.
specifically the tech, library, yes, but specifically the tech help, which I thought every senior in the county knew about that. Because I
You
know
only know
every
if you go to
kid
the
tells them to go there. Yeah, it's
Their
amazing.
minds act. That's super important.
It is, and like some of the, if you haven't looked at the video card, some of the things are like, go for a walk in a park, you take somebody for lunch.
Yeah.
It's, we just want them to get out and get active. Okay. Then we're up to old business. How's it going with WIC?
Very quick update. So when I talked about this last, I had finally gotten my approval through WIC itself. Then I had to wait and take a training class through a Zoom like Microsoft Teams thing. And then I went and did an MOU with MIFMA,
Yep.
who was going to go ahead and get me iOS operating system, because I'm an Android girl, right? Everything I own is Android, everything they have is Apple, so you can't, I don't have the equipment, but MIFMA agreed to buy iPads for people that did not have it, and you just get it. So I did a completed MOU with them. I didn't hear anything for a while, so I kind of pinged back and asked when I was gonna get my equipment because, and then it's coming Monday. Anyway, so I will get my iPad Monday. At which point now I can finish my setup with Total Pay Go, which is the processing agent. And I wasn't gonna buy the card reader from them yet till I got my equipment, because I wanna make sure I was actually getting it, because card readers, $149. The fee for it, Total Pay, is $19.99 a month. I can pay for those things, I'll get the receipts, I submit them back to MIFMA, and they will reimburse me for up to 2 years. Well, they'll buy the card reader straight out, and then they'll reimburse me for the monthly fee for 2 years.
And it's a 2-year contract.
It's a 2-year contract. So we're almost there. I'll get the equipment or the iPad, get it set up. When I have it in my hands, I will do the purchase order with Total. And I'm hoping, and then once I get the Total stuff, then I'll do my test transaction with WIC. And so I'm guessing 2 weeks, if everything works. And thank you, Community Kiosk last week was the reps from WIC were here, and she asked me about my experience and what things could be improved in the process and that, and I just told her a few little things, because it's have one of these, like in steps, because right now it's like this and nobody talks to each other, and you have to kind of figure out where you're going next. And
Yeah, they were clear as mud last year when they did it, and I thought they were clear as mud this year when they did it at the conference,
yeah, well, we're close to being WIC enabled.
Thank you so much for taking this step and being our guinea pig here at the market.
No problem.
We appreciate it.
No, it's an interesting process.
Yeah.
I have one thing to say.
It can do several things and SNAP but you can't do any of those things until you get WIC first, and then it's like an add-on. You can do add-ons.
We'd still
However-
rather they do the.
No, not rather.
Oh.
Can't. We've been asked to, if we're using the tokens at our market and we have vendors who are doing WIC or the future Senior Project Fresh with the digital stuff, please don't cross over.
Gotcha,
So
you can only use
If
one.
somebody tries to use their bridge card with you.
Really, for you?
Please send them to me.
Okay.
They can only do WIC through your thing. They have to come to me if they want to use their SNAP.
But
and
they
get
can do
double up.
Senior Fresh through me.
If they get their act together.
Right.
If Senior Fresh get their act together.
Still up in the air.
Yeah, Senior Fresh.
Right,
is
and
still-
Senior Fresh is one of them though, that is also working with them.
Yeah.
And you take this iPad and you just add each of their
Yes.
apps.
Yes, that
On
would,
it.
that would.
And
that
that's
would-
also your equipment for so if you go somewhere else, you can use.
Oh, yeah, I can use it anywhere I go, and in the end, of course, I will have, well, sort of purchased the card reader, but you don't return the equipment, they don't
Right,
want
you
it
have-
back.
Nope, you
But if
can-
something happens to it, you fix it, you buy new, you do whatever, but they get you started.
Which is nice.
Yeah, so with Double Up
Yeah, they
and
need,
stuff, they need to come to you.
yeah, the Snap and Double Up still is through us.
Yeah.
So I would do WIC and Senior Fresh.
And if you don't know, because I know, when I was working the table, wasn't this past week, was it the week before?
31st.
I don't know which vendor came up, but they were saying how they love our market. So for those of you who don't know, we pay out the day of for
Mhm.
everything they bring in cash, here you go. And that is not common.
No.
The two markets I visited on my vacation, neither of them, one of them was they get their EFT or whatever, they get the bank deposit or a check in the mail if they don't give them their bank information in 2 weeks.
Minus how many percent?
Yeah, a lot of them
that's-
charge a percentage
Yeah.
too. Yeah, we don't. It's
Really?
dollar for dollar.
Yeah, Vicksburg and Marshall,
Or Battle
no
Creek,
fee.
or yeah.
Battle Creek,
Battle Creek
5%.
Does,
fee, yeah.
fine, sorry.
No.
We don't do a transaction fee. It's just.
You guys pay that back out the same day.
Mhm. Yep, at the end of the market, the last half hour of the market, they can come to the table and Colleen she written receipts for everything. She's amazing. Yeah, and if you haven't, I mean, I know you've all come up and gotten your redemption, but if you just sat there and watch, it's a lot.
Yeah. there's a lot.
It's a lot. So thank you for doing that. Okay, anything else under old business? Anything under new business? Okay, I think that's it. We're back here, second Wednesday of next month.
Second reminder, will be out of town
Yep,
next month.
she won't
from
be out of town.
the
She'll be
8th
out of
through
the
out of
hemisphere.
country.
Mhm.
8th through the 17th. I am unavailable. It will be a combo of Patty and I think Julie was, not you.
Nope, Julie Plaskman. Julie Plaskman. Yeah, Julie had a conflict tonight. That's what I did.
Patty, you need to ask someone.
Make a motion.
Oh,
Adjourn.
thank you, Josh. Do we have a second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Oh, any opposed? Thank you very much. Mr. Beneker would be appalled that I didn't.